the presentation part of this presentation. Welcome. So the agenda for today, I'm going to tell you a little bit about me, my own story, and why I became interested in mindfulness. And then we're going to talk about what mindfulness is and what it's not, and why you should practice it. And then we're going to look at how to practice it. So we're going to go through the different kinds of meditation. And then I'm going to take you through a couple of guided meditations. And then at the end, you can ask me any questions or comments. So, my own story with mindfulness. So, I'm a hypnotherapist and a life coach, a master practitioner of NLP and mindfulness. And in 2015, I had a lot of problems. I was troubled. I suffered from a lot of emotional flashbacks, a lot of emotional dysregulation. I struggled to function. I had quite severe anxiety. I was, according to my ex-wife, mentally abusive. And because of my emotional dysregulation, I can imagine I must have been difficult to live with. And then something happened and it made me look at myself, and I started looking for answers. And it was a very, very weird experience. So first of all, I started looking at spirituality and looking at things from people like Alan Watts. Started looking a lot at religions, Taoism, and obviously Buddhism and Hinduism as well. And I started looking into all these different philosophies and practicing mindfulness. And then once I'd watched every Alan Watts video I could find on YouTube, I decided to start studying neuro-linguistic programming, cognitive behavioral therapy, and ultimately hypnotherapy as well. In 2019, I was awarded the Professional Achievement Award from Bark.com and announced the best hypnotherapist in Windsor, Berkshire. So that's me. So what is mindfulness, and what's the difference between being mindful and being mindless? So mindfulness is about experience. It's about experiencing the moment. It's not about achieving any specific kind of outcome or feeling. It's about experiencing everything as it is, for what it is, about living in the present. It's not about emptying the mind of thoughts, and it's not about experiencing some kind of blissful trance-like state. It's about observing everything that is, and observing your thoughts, and not judging your thoughts, just accepting them as they are. And I used to struggle a lot with my thoughts. With mindfulness, I started to see all thoughts as being separate from me, and not judging any particular thought as good or bad, just accepting it as it is. And by doing that, I've been able to reduce my kind of negative self-talk and negative thoughts that I have, of also being able to get in better touch with my emotions and become more emotionally regulated. So being mindless is about being constantly controlled by your thoughts, and constantly, as I say, I used to find my thoughts quite troubling and harassing, and suffered with a lot of flashbacks, as I say, a lot of rumination, and a lot of dissociation, just just completely disassociating from the situation, and my mind would go off in other places, and if I was in a public place, it wasn't nice. I used to avoid going to public places by myself because these flashbacks used to make me kind of black out, and I wouldn't know, if I'd just been talking to myself for half hour or what had gone on. So yeah, it caused me a lot of issues. And so mindfulness is about detaching and stopping those things from overtaking us and just being an observer of them. It's about being present and connecting to the present moment. It can be used to reduce stress, reduce anxiety and depression. That's not the purpose of mindfulness, but it can help with those things, and it has been shown to help with those things. It improves focus and your ability to concentrate. And as I say, it enables you to be more emotionally regulated and consider your reactions and how you react to situations. People who practice mindfulness, generally they have more empathy, more understanding for other people, and obviously more empathy can result in better relationships. It can also improve your health. You can have a reduced risk of heart disease, lower blood pressure, and it can even be used to help deal with pain. So it enables us to cultivate free will and increase our ability to act freely and to act, to get in touch with our instincts, and to act uninhibitedly by our thoughts. It enables us to be at cause as opposed to at effect. So rather than being controlled by situations, we can actually get ourselves to the point where we can create situations that we want. And the thing with awareness is, in the modern world, we're always being bombarded with different information, Facebook and other social media platforms, so that it reduces our attention span. And if you don't, use awareness, you lose it and you become more and more easily distracted. And one of the biggest lessons that I took away from practicing mindfulness is that there's many things that we can't control. You can't control, most things you can't control. You can't control the weather, you can't control, the situation You can't control what the government's going to do. You can't, there's a lot of things that you just cannot control. You have no control of. The only thing that you can control is the way you react to those things. So by giving up control, we become less attached to outcomes and less affected by situations. And when we're less attached to outcomes, we can start to experience obviously less stress, less anxiety, and we can start to experience more positives and find a positive in all situations. And one of the things that I used to do before I started practicing mindfulness was bite my nails. And through practicing mindfulness, I've stopped biting my nails. I also stopped smoking. So by practicing mindfulness, we can notice our habits and change unwanted behaviors. So how do you cultivate mindfulness? So as I said at the start, mindfulness isn't about relaxation. It's not about achieving a state of trance. It's not about, envisaging things and going off into, different realities. It's about connecting with the present moment. It's about observing our thoughts and our sensations without judgment, and detaching from them to realize that we're not our thoughts. When we do that, they stop having control over us. So the different types of meditation. One type of meditation is sitting meditation. It's probably the most common type of meditation. And there's a lot of different ways that you can sit and meditate. I use a kind of Vipassana style of sitting meditation. So I sit somewhere quiet, cross-legged, and I focus on my breath. And as I'm breathing in, I say to myself, rising. And as I breathe out, I'm thinking to myself, not saying to myself, falling. And if any thoughts come into my head, I just label them as thinking. And, any sensations, the purpose is to try not to, as I say, to try not to judge. So if you kind of get an itch or something, the purpose isn't to try and, the purpose is to observe that itch. It's not to, be mindless and scratch it. It's to be, sit quietly and just observe it and just watch how you feel without judging and without reacting to it. And then there's walking meditation. So walking meditation is actually probably the oldest form of meditation. It's said that monks used to walk from, one village to another looking for masters to help them find enlightenment. And so they did a lot of walking, and they did it mindfully, and they meditated as they walked. So when we're walking meditation, it's about placing one foot in front of the other and just noticing, as our foot touches down, as our heel touches the ground, and rolling on to the front of our foot, and just slowly noticing any sensations in our legs and paying attention to sounds and noises around us, and maybe seeing if we can pinpoint a specific bird or something in a tree, and just focusing on sounds and things around us. And then we come to the body scan meditation. Body scan meditation is something that I used to do before sleep, and it involves moving around the various parts of the body and relaxing them as you go. And I'm going to be doing a body scan meditation with you all shortly. So you'll be able to experience it then. And then there's urge surfing. So as I say, you know, mindfulness can be used to give up habits, reduce pain. And so urge surfing, you know, if you're a smoker or you've got some kind of addiction, it would be about, you know, noticing the feelings and the cravings that come up and just watching those cravings. And, you know, everything passes. Change is the only constant. And by noticing things and noticing that they'll subside, you know, we able to reduce our cravings. You know, one thing that you could do if you're a smoker, you could notice the craving to have a cigarette, and usually they say these cravings last, I think, 40 seconds. So if it hasn't, you could watch it for say a minute, and if it hasn't subsided by a minute, you could allow yourself to have that cigarette, and by doing that you can reduce the amount that you smoke and ultimately, you know, stop smoking. So that's the presentation part of the presentation. So now I shall show you some meditations. So just sit comfortably. If you've got your feet on the floor, just keep your feet flat on the floor, and you can place your hands comfortably in your lap or you know, on your knees. If you want to cross your legs, you can do that. It's important to keep your back straight. Meditation is not about you know, being comfortable. You don't want to be so comfortable that you're going to fall asleep. You want to be in the present. So you want to sit with your back straight to ensure that you don't doze off to sleep. And then you just want to take a deep breath in, and then just breathe out and allow your eyes to close. And then focus on your breathing. So breathing in, you just think to yourself rising. Breathing out, falling. Just breathing in and breathing out. And if any thoughts should come into your head, you don't want to try and stop them or react to them in any way. You just want to be able to observe them and then just let them float by. And then you return to your breath. So breathing in, telling yourself rising, and as you breathe out, you tell yourself falling. And just noticing any sounds, anything that you hear around you, and don't try to judge it or label it. So if you hear a bird singing outside, you wouldn't, think, oh, there's a bird singing. You just notice the sound without trying to label it or, decide what it is. You just notice it. And then we can do a body scan meditation. And what's important with meditation is not to try and sit and meditate for hours and hours until your legs go numb. The important thing is to just do it, regularly. It's better to meditate. It's like going to the gym. It's better to do it regularly and meditate every day for 5 minutes as opposed to meditate once a week for 30 minutes. So moving to the body scan meditation now, just continue to sit with your feet flat on the floor and your hands comfortably in your lap or on your knees. Once again, notice the breath. You're breathing in, just saying to yourself mentally, rising. As you breathe out, falling. And breathing all the way down into your stomach. Maybe you can notice the air flowing in through your nostrils and down into your lungs, pushing your stomach out as you think to yourself rising. Then as you're breathing out, just get a sense of that air flowing up out of your body. Then I'm going to go through the various parts of the body. And as I name each body part, just allow your attention to drift to that body part. Just allow your awareness to be there, starting with the right hand thumb, the right hand index finger, middle finger, third finger, fourth finger, then the back of the hand, palm, the forearm, the elbow. Wonder if you can get a sense of the bones in that elbow. And then the top of the right arm, the right shoulder, the right side of the neck, the right ear, the right chest, then the right top of the right leg, the lower right leg, the right foot, top of the right foot, the sole of the right foot, the right hand big toe, second toe, third toe, fourth toe, then the whole of the right side, the left hand thumb, the left hand index finger, middle finger, third finger, fourth finger, the top of the right hand, the palm of the right hand, the palm of the left hand, the left forearm, the top of the left arm, the left shoulder, then the left side of the neck, the left ear, the side of the left face, the back of the left neck, the back of the left shoulder, the lower left back, and then the top of the left leg, the bottom of the left leg, the left foot, the top of the left foot, the sole of the left foot, the left big toe, the second toe, third toe, fourth toe, then the whole of the left side, then the whole of the body. Just become aware of the whole of the body. Something else we can do to allow us to become even more relaxed is to tense the muscles and then release them, and that really helps if you're struggling to get to sleep at night. So I'll run through a quick sequence now of tensing and relaxing the muscles, starting with the right hand. Just tense the right hand, make a fist with the right hand, and then release the right hand. The right forearm, tense the right forearm, the top of the right arm, the whole of the right arm. Then see if you can tense the right side of the chest, tense the right side of the abdominals, the top of the right leg, the bottom of the right leg, the right foot. Then see if you can tense the whole of the right side. Then allow your attention to drift to your left hand. Tense your left hand. Release the left hand. The left forearm, the top of the left arm, the left side of the chest, the left side of the abdominals, the top of the left leg, the bottom of the left leg, and the left foot. And then tense the whole body and release the whole body. Notice any relaxation flowing in. Notice any changes in sensation there. And when you're ready, you can open your eyes and come back.